Much earlier on, the Granola arc happens. Thankfully, with such a great group of fighters, they're able to defeat the Heaters, and actually settle the misunderstanding with Granola as well. But with that arc happening early, where are we supposed to go from here? Well, today we'll be concluding the series by going into the latter parts of Super. All that and more will be discussed in this finale of What If Broly Was in Vegeta's Crew. Following the Granola arc, of course the three Saiyans are still trying to reach a new level of power. Goku and Vegeta especially, they're inspired by Broly. They see the incredible rate at which he's growing, and they know he's naturally advantaged compared to them, but still, who knows what a Saiyan's limits are? By now they've actually ascended Super Saiyan Blue, getting Blue Evolution actually. Both are on an even playing field. Neither are ahead of the other at this point. This evolution of Blue happens because they get more experience before the Tournament of Power happens, and they have a better training partner with Broly. And this wouldn't really affect Goku's path towards Ultra Instinct because the other two Saiyans can't really help too much with that, but they can help him improve his raw strength with Super Saiyan Blue, which is why he gets this form too. But the two of them are still going down very different paths. Vegeta decides to go down a path trained by Beerus, while Goku pursues whatever Whis is teaching him. The best part is, all three will have a great chance to test their power in the Tournament of Power, which would likely still be planned. Broly is excited to test out his power against strong people like Hit again, with Goku and Vegeta just as excited too. They're still trying to catch up to Broly, but in terms of strength, I mean they both have Blue Evolution, of course they're strong. So what's the actual team going to be though? Well, obviously Goku, Vegeta, and Broly are going to be there. Gohan and Piccolo are pretty obvious picks as well, but they still need 5 more. Goten and Trunks would probably be a good pick. No androids because they're dead, so Goten and Trunks will replace them. Goku would also probably think of Tenshinhan and Krillin. But they need one more. Well, they could recruit Roshi, maybe even Yamcha. But actually, Goku has the perfect idea. Get a former villain. No, there's no way they're going to do that. They're not putting Frieza on the team. No, it's not Frieza. It's Granola. Oh, okay, yeah, that's fine. They're actually on good terms with him, and he's pretty powerful, isn't he? They know that for a fact because after that arc happened, he ended up reversing the wish, but did come to Beerus' planet from time to time to try and train with them. Reversing the wish did remove some of his power, but he's still incredibly powerful as is, gained some power from the wish still, and gained some power from training. Unfortunately, he's not on their level anymore, but he's still very powerful, probably right behind them actually. And it doesn't take too much convincing to get him to join. Besides it being kind of necessary for his survival, he kind of wants to make everything up to them. So, he helps out joining the team. Beforehand, he meets everyone in the group, going to Earth for the first time and seeing everyone there. And this is the first time everyone's gotten together in a while. Besides them meeting Granola, they get to see how far the Saiyans have progressed. Gohan especially is interested. He's been working more on Beast, and hopes Broly has gained more control over his power too. Well, he knows he's had that control for a while, but hopefully he has some sort of new power. And Broly can't wait to show it off in the tournament. As the group heads into the tournament, they quickly realize they are way too overpowered compared to everyone else. I mean, think of the team. Blue Evolution Vegeta, Blue Evolution Goku, God Broly, Beast Gohan, Granola. Just those 5 alone kind of makes it unfair. But they still do get to have some fun with it. Like, Broly gets a rematch with Hit, and it's not even really a rematch because Broly is so far ahead at this point that Hit can't even contend with him. Especially because Hit can't even use his full abilities. Well, at first he doesn't think he can. But once he's fighting Broly, he realizes nothing he does will kill Broly, so he could use everything at his disposal. But nothing works with that. Goku ends up fighting Jiren still, but no Spirit Bomb this time, and Goku is simply beaten in the fight. Jiren's raw power completely overcomes him. But Goku doesn't give up. He keeps trying to power up, getting back into the fight, but nothing he does works. Blue Evolution is nothing against Jiren. At least not just now. Jiren's about to knock Goku out of the ring, but somehow, Goku's able to start dodging his attacks, trying to remain calm, clearing his mind and heart, using the principles that Whis taught him. This, combined with him almost being eliminated from the ring as a catalyst, it allows him to briefly tap into Ultra Instinct only, but he drops out of it just as quickly as he got it, amazed at the power that it has. And he keeps his distance for a while, knowing that he lost a lot of energy against Jiren and is pretty beat up. It's actually pretty funny for Universe 7 as well because there's a sniper on Universe 2's team. And unfortunately for him, one of the first people he tries to target is Granola. He finds this kind of funny. He's hit by one of the attacks, but it doesn't hurt him too much. And quickly, he just turns around, eliminating both of the fighters with pretty much no effort at all. And they're amazed at his precision. Vegeta ends up fighting Toppo too. The thing is here, Toppo has no reason to go in his God of Destruction mode. But Vegeta has a reason to use Blue Evolution, so he wins very easily. Which would probably encourage Dispo to attack Vegeta too, but Vegeta's probably so quick at this point that it wouldn't even matter. As for Gohan, I mean, he's Beast Gohan. No one's really going to be able to stand up against him, so he just sweeps anybody in his way essentially. Sticking around with Goten and Trunks a lot too to make sure they're fine. Piccolo's doing the same too. And they are performing pretty well, but still, they're not incredibly powerful and they're still kids after all. At some point they are going to have to face Jiren again. And Gohan tells Broly they should probably try together. They might even be the strongest on the team after all. And Gohan really wants to see what kind of power Broly's unlocked. If Goku couldn't even defeat Jiren, it's their job to do so. But Goku tells him he's not going to back down. He'll join with them. Vegeta will jump in too. As for the rest of the fighters, they'll help protect everybody. Granola and Piccolo will be able to pick off any of the other scragglers left. They have more than enough power to do so. Gohan powers up into Beast, and Broly goes into his God form, with the two of them rushing in towards Jiren. Vegeta powers up into Blue Evolution, while Goku stands there, closing his eyes, calming his mind and heart again, trying to tap into Ultra Instinct once more. He's not too sure if he can, but if he does, that'll definitely turn the tides of this battle. Jiren has to start showing off a lot of power against Gohan and Broly, eventually going into his full power. He can't believe it. He's being overwhelmed by these two, and even with his full power unleashed, he's still having a hard time. This should be easy for him, but it's not at all. Gohan and Broly absolutely overwhelm Jiren, and with help from Vegeta too, he doesn't really stand too much of a chance. And at the very last moment, Goku jumps into the battle, having awakened Ultra Instinct Omen for a brief moment, launching a full-powered Kamehameha right at Jiren, with Gohan and Broly quickly jumping up in the air, joining him with the same attack. This barrels Jiren right through the ring, eliminating him and securing victory for Universe 7. So it wasn't too tough of a tournament for them, but it was still a fun experience at least. For MVP, we could say it's probably Gohan. He had a lot of eliminations, and he most likely would be the leader here still. I also have no doubt that he'd make the right wish here. Next, there's no Broly movie because, look at the story. Look at what's happening here. There's no Broly movie. And something strange happens with the Moro arc. Moro escapes, and the group goes to Namek to try and fend off against him, with Gohan and Broly being part of that group. And Moro has kind of a Yakon moment. He tries to steal energy from Gohan and Broly, and he gets a little too greedy with how much energy he's stealing. At this point, he hasn't got his youth form, and he does absorb a lot of energy from them, but that ends up not being a great idea for him. At first, the energy is delicious, but Broly decides, hey, why not take some more? Because he can tell Moro can't actually handle it. So as Moro tries to drain energy from them, Broly and Gohan power up to their maximum, with Goku and Vegeta joining in too. Mayris watches on dumbfounded. Why are they willingly giving energy to him? But then he sees. Moro is overloading himself, and he can't stop absorbing it. And with his body still being old and frail, taking in so much energy at once, he ends up exploding from too much energy being absorbed. Hey, it's not unreasonable considering what happened with Sagambo, and eventually with Moro himself as well. That arc showed that having too much power in a body that can't handle it, well, it could cause you to just die. So thankfully, the problem solved itself. In a pretty gruesome way though. Next after the Moro arc, we have the Granola arc. Or we would if it didn't happen already. So, none of that either. But there's still one more thing that I haven't really touched upon. If you remember from a few parts ago, President Cell was still unknown. Nobody knew about him and he hasn't awoken yet. Jiro's lab is found by Red Pharmaceuticals, trying to continue his research and building some sort of new android, and they find out about Cell, seeing he's still there being developed, almost complete, but with a few tweaks, they can make him even stronger. But this isn't going to be Cell Max, no, they have the normal Cell to work with here, they're just modifying him with the same ideals that they had with Cell Max. So, a brand new perfect Cell is awoken, nobody even has an idea of what's happening. The best part is, he's able to be modified. He's perfect from the get-go. He doesn't need two other androids. That's a stupid idea. That's fixed right away. Broly and Gohan are on Earth together. One day they sense an ominous power appear out of nowhere, having no clue of what this is. Not too long after, they're then attacked by this exact power. Seeing an unfamiliar foe, it's Cell, and he introduces himself. They don't know who he is or what he is, and he tells them he's the perfect android, made to destroy them and made to destroy Goku. The two could tell that he's powerful, and they try and end this as quick as they can. They power up to their strongest transformations, fighting Cell together, and somehow that's still not enough. Cell tells them, after all, he is made with data from them. No strength or forms that they have can overpower him, and this completely surprises them. The two of them together are usually such a strong duo. Like, even in the Tournament of Power, nobody was able to face them. But this guy, he's giving them trouble, both of them together. Broly and Gohan actually have no idea of what to do here. The scariest part is, he has data from them. He could probably grow just as fast as they can during a fight, and he's fighting so effortlessly. But for some reason, he's not killing them right off the bat. He knows he can and probably should, but he's actually using them to coax out Goku, Vegeta, and whoever else is there. Also, so he can have a fun fight. The more the merrier after all. Thankfully, this means he's holding back a bit, and at some point, Goku, Vegeta, and Granola arrive. Granola was once again on Beerus' planet training with them, and Goku's been trying to tap into Ultra Instinct once more. By now, a lot of time has passed since the Tournament of Power. Goku actually has full control over Ultra Instinct, and Vegeta, he has Ultra Ego, of course. As for Granola, he doesn't have a new form besides the double red eyes, but he's basically regained all that same power that he's had before, and then some, regaining access to godly powers that wish granted him before. And Broly and Gohan are relieved to see them here. With help from those three, that could turn the tides of the battle. They immediately tell those three too, don't hold back anything, they need to use their full power right from the get-go. Vegeta says that's no problem for him, powering up into Ultra Ego, with Granola powering up and using both of his red eyes, trying to locate any sort of weak points on Cell, as Goku powers up into Ultra Instinct. With this being the first time that Gohan's actually seen the complete version. White hair. That looks good on Goku. But it's no time for laughter. Right now, they have a great plan. Utilizing Ultra Instinct, Goku can act as a perfect distraction, while Vegeta can go jump in, trying to use a Hakai on Cell. As they fight, Magenta, Carmine, and Dr. Hato watch on, with the latter being kind of worried. What has he done here? Did he make the right choice by trying to modify this monster? At least unlike Cell Max, he's controlled. But still, maybe he should have gone with those gammas that he had in mind. Thankfully, they don't need to hear a weak point from him. Granola's able to see that pretty easily. He still has that same weak point built in that Cell Max would have had. That's one of the modifications that was made to him. Even though it is the normal Cell and not Cell Max, he's different from the normal Cell. Kinda. And Granola tells everyone, he and Vegeta could try and attack that weak point. He has the perfect aim, while Vegeta has the powerful attacks to help it. And maybe a Hakai launched right at his head where that weak point is, that could work. And Cell taunts them all as they try and discuss a plan. And he's intrigued to see Goku using Ultra Instinct. Thankfully, they don't have any data on Ultra Instinct just yet. Cell knows about it, but unfortunately they weren't able to gather any data from Goku after the tournament, so he doesn't have Ultra Instinct. Same for Ultra Ego. That would have been a disaster. But he wonders, maybe if he fights long enough, he could access that. I mean, he is part Goku after all, and he's been modified to be stronger than everybody here. Also, the drones weren't able to gather any data from Whis, thanks to his Ultra Instinct always being active. But they did get a little bit from Beerus. Not too much though, because the drones didn't know how important he was. And he wasn't really at Earth too much anyways. But that fight between him, Broly, and Gohan from way before, that was the one where it got some data from. Unfortunately, everyone was moving too quick for them to grab Beerus' DNA, except for very small bits of data. He chuckles as he mentions this, taunting them all with this fact. If they don't get rid of him now, who knows how strong he can get. And this concerns everybody. Goku tries to attack Cell, and his attacks don't really do too much, but thankfully he's a perfect distraction, being able to dodge all of Cell's attacks while he does so, coaxing him into attacking Goku. Vegeta rushes in too, attacking point blank, trying to take attacks from himself and growing stronger with Ultra Ego, as Broly, Gohan, and Granola stand back. Broly and Gohan decide that it's best to give their energy to Granola, or at least some of it. They each stick a hand out, granting it to him, as Granola jumps far back, trying to charge a blast. He tells them he's going to retreat for a bit to gather as much energy as possible, and then he'll jump in at the right moment to strike. They thank him for the help, as they rush in too to help Goku and Vegeta. Cell's fighting off all four of them at once, and meanwhile on Beerus' planet, they're watching everything go on, with Beerus pretty intrigued. That Cell guy seems powerful, he could be fun to fight, but more importantly, he's a great test for everybody here. And amidst the battle, everyone else tries to attack his weak points as well, with there only really being that weak point in his head. The good part about his weak point being located is that Granola actually knows where that core in him is too. They don't actually realize it right now, but this Cell actually can regenerate. And with his core being there, as long as they know it's there and they can attack it, they could stop his regeneration. So not only is his head a weak point in general, but it'll get rid of that as well. It's just that he's so powerful, they're not sure if they can. He's too fast, too defensive, too offensive. They just need to buy some more time. Vegeta launches a Hakai, and Cell's able to dodge it, but he dodges and is pushed right into Broly. Broly's able to knock him back briefly, with Vegeta quickly launching another one. Cell tries to get out of the way, but this time he loses an arm in the process. And even though he tries to regenerate it, it's gone. It's been erased by the Hakai. And again, at this point, they still don't know that Cell can regenerate. And he seems cocky at first, but then he's pissed off. He can't regenerate it. This is the first attack they got on him that actually did something. And they keep trying to do this. Try and keep openings for Vegeta so he can try and erase parts of Cell. Or at least, that is the plan. Until Granola jumps up high above. That's their cue. At once, everyone tries to grab a limb from Cell. Goku grabs his arm, Vegeta and Gohan grab his legs, as Broly grabs Cell's head, trying to hold it in place. And Cell's trying to wiggle free. He's strong, it's hard to hold him down. And Broly has to kind of hold him in a weird position so he doesn't get hit by the attack as well. And Cell looks up in the air, seeing a bright light shining in the sky. With the power of Broly and Gohan entrusted in him, Granola launches a beam right through Cell's head, hitting him dead on as everyone powers up to their maximum trying to hold Cell down, using all their strength to hold him back. As the beam pierces through his head, they hear Cell cursing everything, falling to the ground lifeless as he then explodes, with everyone thankfully being quick enough to get out of the way in the nick of time. Well, that was definitely interesting. They didn't realize there was another android out there, but at least they're able to defeat him. And he was a good challenge for everybody. Especially after that tournament of power, they didn't really have a chance to test their full strength, and here, it was the perfect chance for that. Everyone got to use their powers to their fullest abilities. The raw strength of Gohan and Broly, the destructive powers of Vegeta, the sharp aim and wits of Granola, and the divine movements of Goku. It was a perfect storm to defeat a perfect being, and it calls for a celebration, with everyone having a giant feast afterwards. Goku and Vegeta compliment Gohan and Broly, and the same in return. Granola too. Gohan hasn't really fought with Granola much besides the tournament, but he's impressed with his strength, and Granola tells him he's glad to help out here. It did let him test his powers as well. And Goku mentions, against a villain like that, he attributes a lot of Cell's power to Gohan and Broly, with their insane potential after all. But Gohan says it's all because of them too. They've all grown so incredibly powerful, having such a great crowd around them. And this isn't the end though. They could still push themselves further, grow stronger even beyond this. And Broly smiles, surrounded by these people that he's grown to like so much. his first friend, Goku, one of his first friends and rivals, Gohan, Vegeta, who used to be an enemy and someone that he hated, who is now on good terms with him, and now Granola, who was wronged by the Saiyans as well, just like Broly, and is now on their side too. He never could have expected life on this. First, being sent to Vampa, not really remembering too much about that because he left very soon. But then being a soldier under Frieza, never realizing his own strength and being able to defeat the Emperor, and that resentment he held towards the people in his life. He's living such a better life now. And you know, maybe it was for the best. For all he knows, he could have still been on Vampa by now. And if he was never in Vegeta's crew, who the hell knows how that would have turned out? In that weird alternate world, maybe he eventually would have been found on Vampa and brought to Earth somehow, but he doesn't think that seems too likely. But still, it makes him wonder how that life would have turned out. Either way though, he's glad to be here. Glad to have grown all these bonds with the people around him, and seeing how much these other people have grown around him as well too, especially someone like Vegeta. And this is where we end off our story. So, what'd you guys think about this scenario? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to see what you guys think. As always, be sure to drop a like if you want to see any more videos like this, and subscribe if you haven't already. Anyways, thank you all for watching, thanks for supporting the scenario, and I'll see you all in my next video.